Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And if you want to support me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link that I linked in the description below. In this one, I want to kind of give you guys an update on what's going on with me and all of the random madness that I've been dealing with regards to the emergency measures that have been taken care of or that have been put in place in Thailand, and then the lockdowns and stuff that is going on in Canada, and just in general, a lot of craziness going on in general. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you are dealing with it as well. But I was planning, as I told you guys, I was planning to come back home to Toronto in April in any case. It was written in my plans. I was going to come back in April because I want to spend some time with my family and I had some things I have to do, including renewing a mortgage. And so I booked my ticket long time ago for April. And then, of course, the coronavirus, which seemed like it would be like just another virus that's going to come and go, became a little bit more serious. And as time went on in March, I realized that perhaps my flight will be canceled, or probably, most probably, it would be canceled in April. So I kind of moved it up to March, and I moved it to March 25th. And then I realized that probably that flight will be canceled as well, and it was. So two of my flights got canceled technically. And then I moved my flight to another flight to Air Canada. And so basically what happened was that a couple of days ago, you're probably hearing it a couple of days after this happened. So a couple of days ago, I booked my flight to Air Canada and I went on this flight from Chiang Mai to Bangkok. And I stayed in Bangkok almost a full day before my flight at 11 p.m. to Tokyo, where I had a 12-hour layover in Tokyo Airport, in Haneda Airport. And then I flew from there on a 12-hour flight to Toronto. And it was kind of really interesting because even though I was able to keep my own sanity up and I was able to be like positive about the whole situation, and I was like, all right, everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be okay, I'm gonna get my flights. People would keep on messaging me with all of this news. I try to stay away from the news as much as possible just because it was freaking me out, and I was like, maybe I'll miss my flight and maybe I'll be stuck in Thailand. And that wouldn't be such a bad thing unless my visa wasn't expiring, and it was. And so if my visa was expired, I can't actually live in Thailand without it or stay there without it. And so I had to leave, but they weren't allowing me to do a visa extension. So there's a bunch of things involved with it, and there was no way I could stay in Thailand, otherwise I would have, because obviously no one really wants to travel during this time. Although I'm happy to be home right now. And so, I was sitting there thinking to myself, it's okay. If I ignore social media and I ignore the news, I will be able to keep my sanity and I'll be able to stay anxiety free while I'm waiting for my flight. But hundreds of people, all of my friends and family, took it upon themselves to inform me of what's going on. And it was kind of them, it was nice of them. I do appreciate it. Otherwise, I would have just been in Thailand still, I guess. Maybe that's not meant to be. But many people would message me all the time saying, okay, no, this is going on. I think they're going to stop flights soon. You should do this. You should move your flight. You should do that. And all of that anxiety from the other people kind of translated over to me being an empath. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I really am freaking out here. I'm becoming anxious about the whole situation. I was becoming anxious about missing my flight or my flight being canceled again, not being able to get out of Thailand, not being able to extend my visa, and then not knowing what to do, being stuck, but not being able to do anything about it. And that's the main thing that was really annoying me, was that I was like, I don't mind being stuck somewhere as long as I have options. As long as I can extend my visa in Thailand, I've been fine. As long as I can get back to Toronto, I would have been fine. But being stuck without any options, without any possibility of taking action, that was the real thing that was bugging me. That was really causing me to feel anxious. And so, as I said, I ignored social media as much as possible. I just did my own thing. I did a lot of yoga. I did a lot of meditation. And I kept my head up. And eventually, my flight came through. And thankfully, all of the legs were perfect and they weren't canceled. And, I was able to get back to Toronto. The interesting thing is that even though the news and a lot of people in my vicinity were telling me that coronavirus is dangerous and you need to be careful, etc., A lot of people, while I was traveling through the airports, were seemingly not taking it serious at all. It was kind of interesting to me because a lot of them were just were being pretty blasé about it. A lot of people in the airports, international airports, where the people from all over the world were not wearing masks or sanitizing their hands or really as if there was nothing going on. They were just kind of sitting around as if nothing's going on. Some of them were drinking beers, and having chats with people or with friends, sitting around, chit chatting, being loud, being exuberant, just like people do when they're traveling. And so that was kind of a bit surprising. Obviously, there was the other extreme where people were wearing hazmat suits in the airport and gloves and literally covered in this plastic cover throughout their body so that the virus wouldn't be able to get through. I don't know if that was useful or not, but some people were like that. A lot of Asians, particularly, especially a lot of people from China, were wearing these hazmat suits where I'm thinking to myself, wow, they're really prepared for this. And so it's kind of interesting to travel in this scene because I saw both sides of the spectrum. I saw people who were thinking that this is just a hoax and everyone's making a big deal out of it and everyone should just calm down. And then the other side where people are just like, okay, this is a really big deal and I'm really scared and I'm really going to take care of myself as much as possible. And everyone in my family is going to wear a hazmat suit and gloves and masks and everything. And we're not going to touch anything and we're going to be very careful. So it's kind of fascinating for me to travel through that. Obviously, I was hand sanitizing and washing my hands as much as possible. My hands have never been so dry before, and making sure that I was spraying the back of my throat with iodine, and obviously wearing a mask. No matter if there were positive or negative feedback about masks, some people say you should wear them, some people say you shouldn't. Either way, I was. And I just made sure that I sanitized my hand and my surroundings as much as possible. Now I'm sitting here and I'm in a quarantine right now. So I'm actually not even just a self-isolation, but I'm actually in quarantine, which means that I have to be in my room for 14 days without leaving my room because I just traveled from Asia. Even though there are not a lot of cases in Thailand, I just wanted to make sure that I kept this quarantine going so that I could keep a safe distance from my family and obviously not infect them if I do have it. I don't have any symptoms, but of course it doesn't really matter either way because I read that 70% of cases in China were asymptomatic, which means that they didn't have symptoms but they had the virus. And so in general, this is day two actually. I'm on day two right now. And so I'm sitting here thinking to myself, all right, what am I going to do? Obviously, I'm going to be doing a lot of videos. I'm going to be writing a lot, doing all that stuff, which is fun and great and awesome. This is what I usually do anyways in my life in Thailand or in general. But it's really interesting how I did not realize how much of an impact this virus would have on everyone's life. I don't think anyone really did, right? We were all thinking, yeah, it's going to pass by like the SARS virus did or whatever it might be. But it's really interesting to me to see the effect of it and the fact that I am in my room and I'm forced to be in my room. And I'm actually like, it's funny because I love this and it's nice to be in my room and not have to be forced to go out or socialize. But it's fascinating that I've never imagined that this would be the case. This would be my life eventually. This would be how I'd be spending 2020. And so, as I said, I'm in quarantine right now. I'm sitting here. I'm safe. I'm happy. I'm with my family. They're happy that I'm here. My friends are and people are happy that I'm back in Toronto and safe and sound. And so I'm really grateful that I am lucky enough to buy a ticket and the fact that my flight wasn't canceled and that I was able to get back home. I'm really grateful for that. But either way, I'm a lucky person because either way, if I was here or in Thailand, I think I would have been safe, which is not a lot to say for a lot of people out there. So I wanted to do this video just to kind of give you guys an update, obviously, but also to tell you that there is a lot of stuff going on, as you might know, and international travel is not a joke anymore. It's not as simple as it used to be in the past. You book a ticket and you go. That's it. You don't think about it again. It's like you're not checking your email 1,000 times a day to make sure that it's not canceled. Not waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety, worrying that your flight is canceled, like I did, and things like that. You would book a ticket and you'd go, and that's it. You wouldn't think twice about it, and now you have to think a million times about it to make sure everything goes properly and goes in a sane manner. And so it's, again, a very interesting time that we're living in. I hope that all of you guys are taking care of yourself. I hope you're all washing your hands. I'm filming this video in the middle of the night. It's like 12:17 a.m. here because I'm jet lagged, obviously. So the lighting is a little bit off. And also, I've been awake for like 3 days traveling, so I probably look like a crazy person. But in general, I just want to share my news with you and my updates with you. I hope that you're all safe and sound wherever you are. I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support as always. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.